Knowing the New York Times as one of the world's finest newspapers, it was distressing to read Farhad Manjoo's piece in your July 6th issue. While Mr. Manjoo might be a very talented journalist, he did no service to Alvin Toffler in his portrayal of Toffler's field. His homage to Mr. Toffler contained numerous errors that we in the Future Studies and Foresight community of scholars and practitioners take exception to. The Amy Webb quote, "I don't know of many people anymore whose day-to-day pursuit in the academic study of the future," is absurd. There are 24 major future studies organizations, including the Association of Professional Futurists, Club of Rome, and the World Future Studies Federation, each with hundreds of members. It is noteworthy that Ms. Webb's Future Today Institute is not among those future studies organizations. What is, in my view, perhaps the most egregious problem is the graphic that was employed by the New York Times. I'm not going to hold Mr. Manjoo responsible for that, but I know that image overrides utterance, image overrides text. And when you provide this image as part of your article, this one here, the crystal ball image, the fortune teller image, this is not helpful. This trivializes a scholarly field. It is something that we labor vigorously and mightily to overcome, this association with our field with fortune telling. We don't do predictions, we do forecasts. There is a difference. If you want a prediction, I'll predict that you're going to die. That's all I'll be predicting. Okay, in terms of forecast, yes, futurists do become involved in forecasting, but it is always nuanced and it is always with a systematic overview of the numerous variables that move us towards our various futures. We are not futurology, nobody uses that term, and we don't practice futurism. Futurism is a 1920s vintage artistic movement, and it is a red flag whenever anybody uses the term futurism in association with our field. It is true that future studies and foresight are kind of the two terms that are most often used within our field, and we often are at odds at how to reconcile our own identity. But I can tell you that association with futurism is not that. So I really call upon the New York Times and to Mr. Manjoo to do a little bit better job at describing what is now a rapidly evolving, and true, it's going through an institutional change because that's the nature of things, and this happens organically. But there are definitely things that we are not, and we have a responsibility to the future. I don't know how many high school and college age students are going to be referencing Mr. Manjoo's article, forcing us in the field to have to draw large red X's through their work for their mistaken impressions of what our field is. So with that, my name is Timothy Dolan. I've been practicing a practitioner in future studies now for roughly 25 years. I've graduated from the University of Hawaii. I worked with one of the seminal figures, Dr. Jim Dater. It is one of two graduate level future studies certificate programs in the United States. The field of future studies itself is very robust and very much active worldwide. especially in Europe, Latin America, Asia, and Australia. The fact that it apparently lags a bit in the United States is more a comment on our country than it is on the field itself. Again, I'll be happy to work with anybody for further information about what future studies is, what foresight is, and its value to our society and our goals, our accomplishments, and our aspirations. Thank you very much.